All right, it is hour number 3 across America as we're with you till 2 o'clock Eastern Time. It is the worldwide Dino Costa radio experience on Sirius XM's Mad Dog Radio, Sirius 123 and XM 124, on the web at Sirius.com and XMRadio.com. I am going to be joined here in studio this hour. I'm looking forward to this conversation a lot. Will Leach, book author, commentator, pundit, is going to join me concerning his new book, terrific new book, Are We Winning? Fathers and Sons in the New Golden Age of Baseball. We're going to get to Will. Of course, he is the guy who founded Deadspin.com, a contributing editor and columnist for New York Magazine. He's written for a litany of other publications, the New York Times, GQ, and others. And I want to get into this conversation concerning this terrific new book with Will in just a few minutes. But Milan Nevedomsky, our producer, has the gentleman on the phone lines right now with us. As we kind of went into this story, if that's what you want to call it, earlier in the second hour of today's show with Delonte West. The rumor is sleeping with LeBron's mother, Gloria James, and this being a source, obviously, of friction within the Cavaliers family, and might go a long way toward explaining the almost catatonic-like state that James seemed to be in. I might mention with the rest of his teammates in Game 5, a game they would go on to lose to the Celtics. Let me get a name. Let me get a name. What do we got here? This is Therese Owens joins me right now. And Therese, welcome to the Dino Costa Show around America and around the world on a Saturday Mad Dog Radio. How are you?
I can't complain. How are you guys doing?
Good. Now, let me ask you. I found your story on a website called Barstool.com, Barstool Sports, and you are quoted as saying that your uncle is a general contractor at the Quicken Arena in Cleveland. He's got good friends at the Q, including some of the bigger boys in the organization, knows Dan Gilbert, the owner. Your uncle was told that Delonte's been banging Gloria James, LeBron's mom, for some time now. I mean, how credible do you think this really is? And I mean, can you really report this as a credible news story? I mean, we got some laughs and some yucks out of it in the second hour, but in terms of its relevancy, in terms of it being a credible news story, I mean, where do you place this?
First of all, it's not my grandfather. It's a friend of ours that is close to us, and you know, we at ThereSOwens.com we get a lot of stuff in our tips box every day, and you know, you get a lot of crazy stories here and there. But
so this is by the way, this is your website.
Yes.
Barstool Sports. Okay.
No, Barstool Sports is not my website. We're ThereSOwens.com, but I do love Barstool Sports. It's a great site, by the way.
Okay. ThereSOwens.com. Okay.
ThereSOwens.com is our website, and basically we get a lot of tips into our email every day. And, you know, a lot of them are crazy, and I read this just like you guys probably all did when you first heard it, and you kind of going, wow, this is crazy. There's no way this can make sense. And then I started doing a little research on it as far as, like, you know, the source, as far as, like, Delonte's minutes. I'm a huge fan of LeBron James. I watched every game probably just like you guys did, and there was something clearly wrong with him. I mean, it looked like he had his balls ripped from his jock. You know what I mean? He looked like a neutered dog running around out there. He was just not the same player. And we just kind of we trusted our source, and we just put it out there. And nobody's denied it. That's the thing. I've had calls from, you know, TMZ. Everybody's just waiting. You know, the legit news stations aren't reporting it yet, you know? Because, yes, it could very well not be true. But at the same time, I do this every day, and I get cease and desist from many people's lawyers. And, like, when we did the stuff with the Tiger Woods stuff, we would get stuff within an hour saying, take it down. Nobody has contacted us. We've called the Cavs PR department. Nobody is denying this. Nobody is saying anything. And it's the longer it goes on, the more people are probably going to believe it.
All right, you run a website, ThereSOwens.com. I'm putting it out there, so you're getting some great visibility and exposure here on this program here today across America and around the world. But have you ever heard of Deadspin.com?
I have.
All right. Well, the guy who started Deadspin.com, let's put his mic up, is Will Leach, and he's actually in studio with me here today to talk about his terrific new book. But I'd be remiss if I didn't get Will's thoughts and views on this whole thing as a guy who has been a forerunner of the blogging sites that have been across America. What do you think of this?
Well, I mean, certainly, I haven't seen the sources. How's it going, man? By the way, I don't mean to like just jump on you here. I just kind of popped in. I just happened to be here. How's it going?
Okay.
Certainly, I know Deadspin did a post on this yesterday. Of course, AJ runs Deadspin now, and certainly, I guess anytime I don't run Deadspin anymore, but certainly AJ will run stuff by me every once in a while, and usually I'll be like, no, man, totally don't run that, and he runs that because he knows what he's doing better than I do anymore. But certainly, I think he certainly mentioned that there'd been a lot of people had received an email similar to this one, that and some of the details would be changed a little, some of the emails would be a little different, and so on. Certainly, I mean, listen, it's far be it for me to ever tell anyone that not to run with something. Certainly, people have run with if not less, at least less scurrilous stuff. But I mean, it's I will say that it's going to be. I'm not sure that a non-denial or a non-cease and desist is enough,
right?
To go. But certainly, one of the things that I think teams deal with a lot is the idea that, like, what do we acknowledge? What do we officially deny? Does an official denial actually make it worse in a lot of ways? Certainly with the when the Aaron Andrews story happened, ESPN jumping on that early actually made that story worse. Of course, the difference, maybe a difference with that one was that actually was like that actually was, they were actually confirming something that was true.
Right.
But I mean, listen, these things will pop up. I'm wary of LeBron looked neutered out there as an evidence for a story on this, but listen, what do I know? I don't know any more than you do. Certainly.
Okay, what's Delonte West's minutes? You know what I mean? I mean, explain that. The guy was averaging 30 minutes a game. First series, second series, all of a sudden, game 4, 5, and 6, the guy's getting like 16 minutes, 7 minutes, 11 minutes. I mean, obviously that's not confirming anything, but it's still a little strange.
Well, I would find a lot of the things that the Cavs coach did pretty strange, actually, in that series. So I certainly, yeah, I mean, yes, it's impossible to prove a negative in a lot of ways, and certainly I don't know what Mike Brown was thinking in pretty much every way in that entire series. I don't know why Shaquille O'Neal was playing at all in that series, but certainly I think that when you start from a premise of why are the minutes down, and then come to this. Listen, I don't know anything about the story one way or the other. I'm just saying that, like, certainly I know that feeling of getting a lot of things in your inbox and deciding which ones to run and which ones not to run is something that I think is specific to every site. One of the things that was always frustrating to me when I was doing Deadspin was anytime some site did anything, as you may have remembered, as I got yelled at on national television about this once.
Buzz.
I kind of became the every site takes the personality of its author, and the idea that somehow the frustrating thing to me about these stories is not so much that, like, there's anything wrong with you running the story or anything like that at all, but the idea is it just turns into another, there goes the web again with their kind of thing. Right. And listen, it may listen, I don't know. I've never met LeBron James. I've never met his wife, his mother. I've never met Delonte West. So I have no idea. I have no clue whatsoever if this story is true or not.
Well, Therese, listen, you keep following this story here, and we'll keep our eyes on it as well. And I know you got a lot of competition out there in the blogging world for this stuff, but I got to get to Will here with his book, and I thank you for coming on the program today.
No problem. Thanks for having me, and good talking to you, Will. I love the site over there.
Cool. Thanks, man.